Welcome to Seems Legit, the podcast where two fashion founders spill the tea on all things business, burnout, and building brands that usually don't fall apart. Okay, so Maya.
Hi.
Hi. Let's talk about you. Tell us about who you are and what you do.
Okay.
And what you're most excited for in this journey that we're embarking on.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm the co-host of SeamsLegit.
Mm-hmm.
I started WearLab. It's been a long journey of me figuring out what I want to do in my life.
I think we can I think we all relate to that.
We can all relate.
I think everyone that's going to be watching this can relate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I studied fashion design technology degree. I had a degree, and then I worked at Lulu. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I worked at Lulu.
No way.
Yeah, a little bit at Lulu, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not the corporate girly. I need to get out. So I did get out. I started One Honey. You know my brand, right?
Yes, of course.
So I started my activewear brand with my sister. We did amazing. We were operating for 3 years.
How was it working with your sister?
That's
another show. It's just a topic. It's a conversation for the next podcast.
Working with family is different, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to have boundaries, and then also tasks, and know that like business is business, family is family, and then be able to like separate those two. I think very important. I think me and Maggie grew so much by learning that while doing the business, and then she then is going to medical school, so it was really hard for us to like continue together. And then I started with WearLab, and then we kind of like went different ways with One Honey. One Honey always stay in our heart, but I think for now it's on pause till we get back to it.
Until we start making really cute shorts.
Exactly. Maybe we'll continue
for One Honey for some cute shorts, but
we'll talk about it later. A little brainstorming later. Yep.
Always.
Literally.
It's something we do really well. I think it's just segue. I think it's really important to have someone. Well, I know it's really important to have someone that you can brainstorm with and just bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
Because I haven't. It's very rare. It's very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah, I can
find someone creative as much as you are.
That you understand each other. We
see the vision.
Yeah.
I see your vision, you see my vision, and you're like, okay, let's make this work.
Yeah.
I think that's so important because sometimes you can get in your head and then it's like you're alone. And I feel like starting,
everyone always says that. They always say like being an entrepreneur, starting your own business is very lonely. Yeah. And coming from someone who loves to be alone, it definitely plunged me deep into introversion because it is, But I don't know if it's so much lonely as you are alone in it because you have your own vision. It is your business. No one is going to understand that like you do. Yeah. Even if you're not alone in it, even if you have a co-founder, even if you have a partner, you're still like it's your vision. Like you're alone in your vision. Yeah.
And I feel like it's hard to like step back and then look at it from different angle when you're so into that vision, right? Like, so that's why you need someone else to be like, hey, I thought of this version, or what do you think? Which can be really uncomfortable maybe at first because you're like, what are you talking about?
Why are you even speaking?
But so that's why it's so
Who asked you?
Why are you? Who let you speak?
No, we're not doing that.
That sounds like it's so important for entrepreneurs to be open-minded. That like, hey, there are other versions. You just have to be open-minded, and even if you don't like it, it's good to hear, and then reflect on that. And if that's something you think you can move forward with, amazing. But just being able to take on, I don't know, feedback from others.
I was just criticism, feedback, all of it. Not take it personally.
Not take it personally.
It is a huge growth step to have your own business, and not take things personally.
Honestly, I've heard my business is shit. Like, oh, this is not going to succeed, or hey, like I don't think there's a market for this.
Yep.
Like,
Those are my favorite,
right?
Those are my favorite.
You hear those and you're like, watch me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch me. And like those things will help you actually grow and improve. If everything is perfect, there's no need for growth, right? So that's how WearLab started as just like, hey, there is a market. I can see there's a market for people who want to start their own product, people who are going to supply chain and can't find someone to help them and like guide them, like yourself. Like you had to figure out everything on your own. But I've done that side and I also know the other side because I've done it so many times. So what WearLab is, it's like a seamless studio where they basically take your concept and they make it all the way to your dream.
It's my favorite
product.
Yeah.
And we actually help everyone. We don't judge them. We don't judge their product. We don't judge their like what's in their head. It's so much about just like let us get into your head and understand what you want.
You do an amazing job.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
Thank
you do an
you.
amazing job of it.
Thank you. And I love it. It's so fun because it's
Well, that's why
different.
you do an amazing job,
Yeah.
right? Because you love it
Yeah.
and you're really good at it. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to someone starting anything. Doesn't matter what you want to do. If you are passionate about it, it will work.
It will work. It will work.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just love what you do. Even though it can get tough at some point and you sometimes there's ups and downs. You cannot every day love your job, but because you started it as a passion, I think it can grow to something bigger and nicer.
So where do we see WearLab going?
I feel like we see WearLab more of an international agency.
Because are you mostly predominantly
in North
within
America?
Yeah.
I do definitely want to add more departments to WearLab. I want it to be more like, hey, we also can manage your production if it's offshore. Because now I'm seeing a lot of problems with offshore management.
We're seeing huge problems with offshore management.
Yeah, and people can't speak the supplier's language, so then there's a problem. So what we do is now, hey, we can actually find you the right supplier. If you want to keep it offshore, you can, but also be able to manage your production so you don't have to stress.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah. I think that's our next goal, and that's what I'm trying to work on.
I like that a lot. I think that's super smart.
Right? Thank
You heard it here first.
you. You heard it here first.
No, I think
That's
that's really
happening.
smart. I was literally just talking to the girl that I sent your way,
Yeah.
the bikini company, and she was saying how put her business on blast, but she was saying how she has production is done in Portugal, right? And her production is done in Portugal, and now with everything going on, things are getting harder and harder. But that the account manager that she had is no longer with the company. And her account kind of gets lost, and then she doesn't speak the language, and so she's trying to figure out from Canada what's going on in Portugal, and it's really hard to get in touch with anyone because no one speaks English. Her account manager. So I think that's brilliant. Yeah,
That's crazy. I had a lot of people who, like, because of the tariff thing going on, want to move maybe production somewhere else, not in China, but still within offshore. And they like, we don't know what we own and what we don't. We don't know how to move it. Who do we go to?
This is a great time for you. Yeah.
So I'm like really excited because I'm like, I know how to speak.
I love this. Actually, this has opened up quite a bit of doors.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So now we can work from anywhere, right? It's not just our studio, which we love in Vancouver, but
I love it. I love having the studio in Vancouver. I will tell you a little bit about myself.
Yes, please do. Tell us, B, what do you do? Why are you here?
Let me talk about myself. So my name is Bronwyn Bell, and I am the founder of the Snuggit company. We are a luxury sustainable pet carrier brand that is absolutely disrupting the industry, being the only pet carrier brand in the world that is size inclusive. So we make our pet carriers with every body in mind, and we're the only ones in the world doing it. And we are 100% female owned and operated and 100% Canadian. So everything is designed and made here in Canada by you and your lovely team, by women all over Vancouver. And we've kept everything in Canada, which is where I was getting into with this is, well, I shouldn't say, yeah, we've always been 100% Canadian. Yeah. So I made the choice when starting Snuggit. I started with no experience. I was a server. So I was in the hospitality industry my whole life. I had no idea like what I was going to do with my life. My mom was very concerned.
They are.
Yeah, my mom was very concerned and I wasn't too concerned, but I really had no idea what I was going to do. And I had a dog that had a very rare neurological muscle disorder. He had to be held upright for 13 hours a day, basically my whole day, my whole life. And I quit my job to care for him. I know, but it's okay. I was happy to be there for him, anyways. And so I had to hold him upright. So I've tried every pet carrier on the market, and everything is a one size fits all. They're all these huge, big, long carriers that are meant for like someone who's 6'5", and I don't know who they're fitting. They're fitting one, but who are they fitting? Which is also the number one thing I hear from all of our customers, like on every message, on every email, on every DM, it is, I have a million carriers and they're all too big. Like, I really hope this is going to work. I was like, babe, you're in the right place. Yeah. Like, that you are in the right place. Yeah. So I ended up having to use baby carriers, like a baby Bjorn. It was the only thing that was like snug. Right. So when you have a baby, a human child, you want them close, just like they're in the womb. Right. Like, we birthed these babies. So why should they not be held snug and close to our body, up right beside our heart where they belong? Like, they should be hearing our heartbeat. This is also how you keep them, or it's also how that's most comfortable for you, because having the weight of your pet at your center of gravity is the most comfortable for your back, neck, and shoulder. Anyways, my mom saw me in the baby Bjorn out on the street walking my foster dog at the time with Clarence wrapped to my stomach. And she was like, this is absolutely not going to work. And my mom made the very first Snuggit, which wasn't a Snuggit at the time, but it ended up, being where we are now. So that is how Snuggit started. And I was just going to say, so after, Clarence passed, anyways, long story short, everyone kept asking me, if you should sell these. And in my mind, all it was like this sick dog carrier. I just used it for my sick dog. He was very sick, and it was something I used for him. And I was like, no, but I remember saying, nobody wants my weird, sick dog carrier. That's all I had. This was just something I used. It was literally a solution to a problem. But because I had no business, I had no idea about business. That is literally how you start a business. You have a solution to a problem. And I remember, shout out to Dave Anthony. He was like, let's go for a walk and let's just go to pet stores. Let's just go and let's just see what they have. Like, let's just see if this is something they would want. So I was like, okay, no harm in that. We went to 3 pet stores. Right. And that day, 2 of them placed orders with me. What? Yeah. Did you have it? We had no product. We had no business. Yeah. We had 2 stores place orders with me that day. Also, shout out to Nancy at Barky Babies, because you were one of them. And she saw that I brought my weird, sick dog carrier. And I was like, would you be interested in something like this? And she was like, how fast can you get it to us? She's like, can I place an order today? And I was like, are you serious? And she was like, yeah. She's like, you're Canadian? I was like, yeah. She's like, how fast? And this was before the Made in Canada was a thing. Like, obviously I know people always want to support Made in Canada, but it was long before this. Yeah. Becoming a popular thing to support Canadian businesses. And she said, you're Made in Canada. I said, yeah. She said, how fast can you get it to me? I was like, really? She's like, yeah. So she placed an order that day, and we're still carried at Barky Babies. We will always be carried in. But I think we will always give you product, Nancy. But yeah, and then we started the business. I told my mom, I went home that day and I told my mom, like, oh my God, we got orders. And I had $5,000 to my name. And I said, this, I'm going to put $5,000 in this business. Yeah. And that's it. Like, whether it does anything, if I lose it, I always said, what am I okay losing? Because I think this is a big part of, like, how do you start a business? And I think we talked about this before. You just start, right? You just start. You can't wait for everything to be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Still, I do things today. It is not perfect. No. And you just learn as you go. And so I started with $5,000 in a dream, and we've been bootstrapped the whole time. And here we are, almost 7 years later, and all over the world.
We are back.
We are back, and we are going to be spilling the tea on what is to come. I am really excited because we are individually going to have in podcast guests.
Yes.
That for me have really helped me grow in business. So some really exciting social media managers, my personal accountant and CFO.
I can't wait to meet him actually.
I know. That one's going to be a really good one. So for anyone who doesn't understand their taxes, numbers at all, and like if numbers freak you out, if taxes freak you out, spreadsheets freak you out, that will be the episode for you. That is going to be a real good one.
That will be a good one.
Yeah, and just people that have helped us grow in business from starting a business all the way up.
Yeah.
And I know Maya's going to bring in some really epic founders and some really amazing owners of like founders of brands.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of brand owners that's been around for a while, and I can't wait to hear their stories.
I know,
because I talk to them all the time, but I actually don't know how they started, and they've been doing amazing. Mostly female too.
Yeah, amazing. That's exciting. Yeah, we'll have a lot of women and some really great men.
Yes.
Yeah, the men we're gonna bring on are gonna be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be worth the watch.
Smart man.
Very smart. Yes. Yeah. I think it's a big thing too is outsourcing. You know, outsourcing things that you just don't that you are not good at. Yeah. No,
don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Yeah. Hire yourself an accountant.
Hire a good accountant.
And that's the thing is getting an accountant, man,
will save your life.
Well, but it's also like it is really hard to talk to people. It's like a totally separate mindset from mine. And I don't think that like we just don't mesh. And I found myself a good one who's actually become like one of my best friends. And he's amazing. So I'm really excited to share him with you guys.
Yeah. But she's gonna keep him for herself.
Yes, I will. Yes. He's very busy. He's a very busy man already. But he's amazing. We'll have him on the podcast and we'll put up a question box as well so you guys can ask. I think before we have someone on that is gonna do like a social media managing and some stuff like that, we should put a question box up to see like what people what the most asked questions will be and see if we can get some of your questions answered.
Yay. I'm excited.
Me too.
See you guys next time.
Mwah.